Hello, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Johannes. I am a security expert, and I am here today to discuss a little bit about what's going on in the small, medium business segment in Indonesia and in the region. And with me today, I have a guest from Setiadharma in Indonesia that will be actually two guests. Starts with Arif and then with the CFO, Ardi, that will come in a little bit. So let me start. One of the most challenging part, what has happened the last 2 years, is that we went from going to the office to get to our own home to work from home. And the pandemic that started in 2020 made a realization for every company out there around the globe that suddenly we had to change our business model and our work model, how we're going to work. Because now, still 2 years into the pandemic, we are still in the same boat. And the pandemic is not going anywhere yet. We are on the fourth wave. So working from home, accessing to the network, to our offices is still challenging. Small businesses has been converting into go online. We can see that great success stories when it comes to the e-commerce sites that assist small and medium businesses to sell online. But it also created a new challenge for all these small businesses, from being totally manual, face-to-face, to going into a hybrid or a full digital mode to be able to sell to their existing customers. And trust me, big companies, small companies, medium-sized companies, we all have the same challenges. And specifically when it comes to cyber threats, because it has been a wonder feast for all the hackers. Now you can see that what is happening in the small, medium enterprises, what is going on. We can read in the papers about the big companies, the threats that is coming from North Korea, Iran, and other places where they have hacking governments, where they're hacking big institutions, where they're hacking into electric and logistics and national security issues in different countries. But what they're not talking so much about in the big press is that actually 80% of all the hacks are on small and medium businesses. And why it has not been talked about is because nobody sees what's going on and when it happens, specifically a small business. So you can see 80% of the hackers choose small businesses because it's like a candy park. It's just to do a few commands and they are either in the CCTV cameras, printers, emails, through the social media sites and so on. Because what's happening is that we are getting emails, we are getting more messages through online and through the social medias. In these emails and others, there is Trojan horse, malwares, and other things that gives the hackers direct access to most of the things in your business if you're not secured. So we see many different types of cyber risk for the small business. One of the most obvious one is now when we work from home, we are taking our own device home and we are connecting to our main office or our business online through cloud, because now everything has migrated to the clouds. Software, accounting, sales software, CRM, customer service management software, etc., etc. We all buy them. It's subscripted SaaS services mostly, and without the right protection, we are actually very, very vulnerable. So if we do not have a firewall or other existing softwares to protect us from these entry points, we're going to be hacked. There is no doubt about it. We might know about it, or we will for sure know it afterwards, either when the bank account is emptied from the bank, or when one of the employees have clicked on one of the emails and suddenly there comes another email later on from the boss asking you to buy something for the boss, etc. This has been a very common way here in the Middle East, where I'm located at the moment. But I see that everywhere in the world, because the email is one of the easiest way to hack for a hacker and get access to everybody's email and password through the system and utilize this against each other employees or for other reason when it comes to purchases, sales, and other things where it can be corrupted. So the major problem for small business owners is the cost. And that's one of the reasons why that has not been invested into security. And this is something that might needs to change, because we are now in a digital world. We are 99% in the digital world when we do work today remotely, online, and work meetings, etc. So this is a very frightening numbers, as you can see in front of us. 9 out of 10 owners avoid network security solution because it's high cost. And that's a fact. And they are also right, because it's very expensive. And it's very, very complicated normally. Because if you don't have an IT expert or somebody that is dedicated to run these firewalls or security points, update them, upgrade them, and service them, is another major cost for a small business. Plus, as you can see the last numbers, is that it's complicated. And for that reason, it doesn't happen. So what can we do about this? So you can see some other numbers here. What is the most important? What can be done? Firewall will assist mostly and take away a lot of the problem. So a network firewalls is something that will protect. And for workforce from home is to have a VPN, a virtual private network, that connects, or a proxy that connects directly to the firewall and through that to the servers in the office, to make sure that it doesn't get hacked or something bad happens. And I believe one of the most important as well is education and prevention, meaning educating the workforce, talking, learning, and spreading the word to the employees or friends or other business associates to make sure that these steps are, awareness is one of them, and to make sure that we are proactive before something happens. And obviously, endpoint security is one of the major things that needs to be done on a work from home device that is connecting to the office. And obviously, the easiest one is to make sure have filtering on emails, site blocking, and so on sites that you should not go to, or links you should not be able to click on, to be redirected to a malware or a site that has malicious wares. So this is a lot to take in, I know, but there is solutions. But before we come to the solution, I like to invite a good friend, Arif from Setiadharma. That is a company, an organization that has a lot of workforce, and they also have exactly this common problem: working from home, working from office, working from different places around Indonesia to connect to the head office. So, Arif, please join me. And I would like to hear some of your stories, or if you had some incident in your time with Prasetya in this regard.
Okay, thank you, Ola. Actually, when we work at home and we usually make some group in our media social, and sometimes we not realize that we put user name, passwords in some like posted in the social media, right? Like WhatsApp or Telegram or everything that you can use to joining with other groups. And that things that the small things that sometimes that we are underestimate, right? And then uh, we almost have a hack because of that, because of bad actors there. There are some bad actors, and then see trying want to try to access something like that, and then want to get some get information that uh, very confidential from our company, something like that. That was something happened that maybe around 3 months ago, yeah. And thanks God we have some system. Then also we can detect the breaches, where is the breaches coming from. And then suddenly, yeah, we do something like uh, we check all the folders and then lock up something, and the effort is very very hectic
Correct.
sometimes. Yeah.
And guys,
uh,
this is the one other important thing that Arif just mentioned,
yeah.
that we are sharing everything in work groups. And this many of these work groups are not secure because we are inviting, like Arif said, a lot of other people. And we are adding a lot of information into these work groups that is like in heaven for any hackers to access and utilize within the organization to access all the information.
Yes, correct, 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 Ola. So that's why until now our team, and of course we do something like socialization about this is very important for us to know about the cybersecurity things. And also not to make everyone is admin, something like that. And then please very very be careful, because yeah, you are important or not important, you can be a victim in the cyber world.
Correct.
Yeah.
I agree, and I think the audience as well had probably had some of these experiences. And let me tell me one that I think everybody can see on a daily basis, and I think it's a very good work practice. Is actually every time you get an email, if it's in the spam folder or if it's in the normal folder, make sure before you open it is to check the email strain, what the email actually address is. Because many times it says, say for an example, ola@dotlines.com sg. But if you look at the strain, the real email, it actually has another direction. And that's the easiest way to spot if somebody is trying to personate you or use your name or use another organization's name for you to access that email or look at some text, or maybe there is a malware in that text. So when you click on it, it's going to open up and download a malware onto your device. This is the easiest way to actually take away a lot of threats, is to be very proactive and looking into the email address, the line of the email, where it's coming from. Because most of the time, if it's used this way, it has a totally different email domain name than the one that is actually yours or that company's name. That's the easiest way.
Yeah.
And other things that we see that is very important in regard to learning and be proactive and actually studying before going to maybe buying different things is actually to look for anti-malware software. I mean, you can Google it and you will see that horror stories, what's going on around the world when it comes to malware and how they work. One of them is very easily done through Wi-Fi, for an example, because we all go to open access Wi-Fi. If we are in a hotel, we are in a shopping mall, we are in the airport, we are in other locations. And suddenly it says, for example, say Holiday Inn, free Wi-Fi, or Holiday Inn login, and there is no security or password. And that specific Wi-Fi hotspot can actually be a clone. Somebody is just putting up a point, and soon as you try to log in or you logged in, he then has access to your monitor, your device, and exactly what you're doing. He can see on his side and still look, learn, and take all that information that you are doing on your laptop, your phone at that specific moment. So it's very, very important wherever you go, if you're using banking or any other very private information, that you do not use open Wi-Fi networks in that regard, because you will be hacked.
Yes.
Maybe not today, but you will be hacked
Mhm.
either today, tomorrow, or in the future. So get the malwares, anti-malware software. Firstly, I think that's the most important, and is very cost effective to have as the first point of entry of security. And of course, make sure that update your computers in the office, screen them on a daily basis or weekly basis to make sure that there is no malwares and other badwares on your devices. Do not connect to office networks from an open source internet connection where you do not have protection, because it will be hacked. That's for sure. Make sure, if you can, have firewall in your organization, because that is the number one protection to make sure at least 90% that you will be protected. And obviously web filtering in your organization on your devices that you use for work or that you use at the office. And email filtering that your organization, or if you're a small business, make sure that when you have an email that it has email filtering, and take some time, because it takes 5 or 10 minutes to check, set up, to make sure that emails that should not reach your mail inbox do not reach your mail inbox. So that's some simple step. But I believe firewall is the number one that you need in an organization today, because we are all interactive. We are 100% digital today, in our hand with our mobile device or our laptop, or in the office, or any other device or software we are using today. They're all host cloud based, so we can access them from anywhere. So this is the most important. This is the entry points for any hacker. At that point, when you access your cloud softwares, that you need to make sure that you are protected. So it's a lot of things to think about, but this is the reality of what we are living in today. So taking that time to educate yourself on this part is very, very important. Because I see in Indonesia and everywhere else, today we have the accounting software, we have the sales software, we have the customer service software, we have our sales leads software,
Yeah.
etc., etc. Everything is on the cloud today.
Yes.
And that means we are a party for the hackers to anytime reach the information or the data. So that's one other part. And I can guarantee you, if you look at your bank's emails, or any bank website you go today, or any SMS you're getting from your bank or from your application, the first letter you see in all the applications today is be aware of phishing attacks. Because this is a very, very profitable way for hackers to get your money. Because phishing attacks is a way that they clone your business, the bank's web domain, the website. It looks exactly the same as your bank, same login, same thing. It will ask you for the same thing, your password and your login. But when you click on an email or an SMS coming from your bank asking you something, please think twice before you click on that link, because it can be a cloned phishing attack from somebody that wants your password, wants your login to be able to reach into your bank account and steal your money. I do not know how many times in every country today this is the number one source of hacking of private people and businesses when it comes to easy money for the thief. And the major problem is, myself included, is we're using same password for everything. So if he has taken your bank password and login, for sure 80% of your other logins are going to be the same, like your
Mm,
corporate email, like your other banks or
mm,
other things that you have. So they will get access to everything you do
yeah.
within an instant.
And you will,
And
and also if this one, right? This one can also
correct.
get
By one
app.
tap, you can be out of all your information.
Yes.
And it will be
Fingerprint.
immediately sold on the dark web, meaning that it will be accessed of a lot of people that will try to do it, myself included. I've been using my credit card, for example, in one point of sale in one country when I've been traveling. And suddenly you can get a charge on your website, maybe not a big amount, and you don't think about it at the moment. But for example, in my case, is because I don't smoke, and it was from a
Mm,
vaping, selling products and services of vaping products for smoking in the United States. That somebody used my credit card for the amount of X amount of dollars.
mm,
So obviously this information has been sold, and what do they mostly do? They buy stuff on the digital space to be either sold to somebody or sent to somebody, or they buy digital products that they can use immediately, like an Apple prepaid card or an Amazon card or a Google card or whatever, where they can immediately get the code and take that information and value and use it for something else. And it can never be traced back again, because there is no effort for $90 for any police force around the world to try and track and trace these kind of small amounts, because they will not have the manpower for it. So this is very important things to think about when you actually accessing any of your devices today on the internet, because we are living in a whole new world. Because the thieves from the street, they have entered into your device on the internet today, and it's 100 times worse than it was a few years back.
yeah. Wow, that's very useful information, and also need to be socialized to everyone, especially, of course, with my team also. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And
Yeah.
I believe that one of the things that Arif and them have done, not only in their organization, but they're working with their partners, is they have tried a new device that is called Audra. And
Mm,
Audra is a very simple click to click, tap to tap setup to utilize for the small businesses or medium businesses to be able to protect themselves, and at a very, very fair price. Please tell me something about that, Arif.
yeah, but Audra,
Yes.
yeah,
How has the experience been with you or some of your clients?
yes, Audra actually, home share and also the business. If in the business, that's very useful because you see, like effort things like we do in conventional things like, maybe you familiar with scripting, do blocking, do category, something like that, but it will be takes a lot of your time and efforts. But with Audra, we just yeah, everyone can use it, just one click, something like that. And then Audra Cloud is very powerful, so to checking malware, adware, the DOS attack also. Like if you do in your conventional way, maybe you can use three engineers to shifting every 24 hours to check inbound, outbound. Is there any anomaly there? But when you do with the Audra, yeah, you can sleep well.
Right.
Yeah, that's at least not 100% protective, but it's more convenience with for SMB owners because have a lot of efficiency there when we see in our TCO and also operational costs, something like that. That's very very helpful. Ola.
Correct.
Yeah.
We will not go very deep into this, but I would just like to say a few things.
Mm.
It's obviously on the cloud, but what is on the cloud is that you set your information that how you want to run your business and your employees, meaning that you can time schedule them, how they
Yeah.
use the internet. You can set what they should do on the internet. Should they be prevented from blocked with just a tab? All the categories for weapons, for an example, for bad adult content, for malware, for adwares, because ads taking a lot of the internet usage for office network, specific sites that they should not go to during work hours, either from home or actually from the office, and so forth. So you can actually, with a few taps, set the categories, what is allowed and not allowed during work hours, and
Yeah.
as well what access different kind of workforce should have and how long time they should be utilizing this in a very simple way. Plus, it gives you a summary. Immediately when you open the application, you will see exactly the usage of internet, who has been using it, and if there's been any threats, and how many threats has been prevented. So you can actually see exactly what your employees are doing online in the sense of sites they should not have gone to, and you easily can have a proactive conversation with different of your employees, how they should utilize the internet, and maybe why would they have gone so many times to sites that are actually malware sites, or is sites that it should not be done in an office or work environment. So Audra gives you that simplicity to run a business like a firewall, but without the complications or the trouble of setting it up, because it's set up within the minutes. Just a few taps, you decide, it's your rules, your internet, and you have a full 24/7 protection, not 100%, but almost, and
Yeah.
to protect your office. But as well, there is VPN connections for setting up, so you can actually work from home, direct connect with the office, and making sure that the data that you're using from home to access the office is protected. And this is the most important in today's pandemic world, when we 80% or 70% still work from home and do not go to the office.
Yes. Correct. Correct, Ola. That's also improve our productivity. Yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
I do not know if we have a video to show. If not, please, if you are in Indonesia, please connect with Prasetya. They will give you more information. They will also give you a free trial to try to see how it works in your office or your home with Audra, how you easily can change from being non-protected to protective and be a better workforce of making sure that threats do not happen in your office or in your devices. The rest of the region, if you are listening, please go to our website, dotlines.com.sg, or to audra.io, and there you will have more information about today's event. You will have access to either reach out to one of our partners or directly to us and learn more and take the next step to go into the cybersecurity for your business. Arif,
Oh yeah,
thank
yeah.
you very much.
Thank you very much, Ola. But Pak Ardi want to join?
Is he here?
I guess yeah.
Ah, beautiful.
Hi,
Okay.
Yeah.
hi, Oma. Hi, Farif.
Hi, Pak
Hi,
Ardi.
Ardi. Nice to finally see you in our webinar.
Yes, yes. Sorry, I was stuck in another event.
Correct. We have been talking a little bit about security around the region in Indonesia. We talked a little bit about what are the threats that are happening with an SMB or a small medium business. And maybe you have something to add when it comes to your own experience or how you see in Indonesia how the small medium businesses work and what is protected and not protected in this area.
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure. Yeah, I see that we as a company in running a business, sometimes uh, we don't really see the importance of um, network security. Well, we have other things, uh, to think of, like doing our running our business, and a lot of times we just we don't even have a network guy, and even if we have a network guy, sometimes we are utilizing uh, an IT programmer to do the network security, which is totally different thing to have, right? And um, yeah, a lot of times, like ourselves, we have our own server at our office, right? And a lot of our internal, um, how do I say, internal software. So we have our own ERP, and we have like
Maybe
a
you can explain what ERP is because we have an audience that we
enterprise
not
resource,
everybody know.
yeah, enterprise resource planning. Yeah, and we
Thank you.
have our own uh, internal softwares that we use, and um, these are saved in our server, right? And we've had some occasional, uh, like I would say hacked, but we don't really know because we don't have we didn't have the tools back then, and um, so we had to, yeah, like we had to call someone to come to check the server whether there is like a ransomware, or uh, like all these what we call virus, and um,
And I
yeah.
think one of the most important thing, like you just said now, we had to call somebody, we have to do this and so on. And I think the most important is that as a business owner, you are not educated enough or do not know enough about this. So we trust it to a second person or a third party. But the real thing is here, if you are 100% today digital, because everybody has been going to the digital, and you're not protected, and suddenly your server crash or you have a ransomware and so on, what is happening? That means that you are stopping as a business to operate, means that you do not sell, that means you don't get revenues. So I think it's a very important for a business owner to get the basic understanding what is needed and why it's needed for the reason of protecting and building its business to making sure that it's redundable for the future, that the operation do not stop. And I think that is a thing that as a business owner you don't really think of in the past because it was never of your concern. But today, since hackers has increased, I mean, I don't know how many thousands of percent of hacking is going on today compared with only 2 years ago.
Yeah, 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 and in fact, I had another instance, because we one of our a group of companies, we are running a daily news website, right? And we store it in our own server at our office. And we thought that it was safe enough, having the website running on our server, right? And but one day we had our website, and what we saw, like a skull, so someone injected something into our server. I don't know how. Yeah, when we opened this website, it just showed like when a hacker, they want to show that they are successfully, they have been successfully hacked to our server, right? And they just leave a mark, and
Exactly. Do
yeah,
you
that.
use, the thing is maybe because you're using the website and you're using the email of that website on the same server, or is it different?
To be honest, I don't know.
Yeah,
Until today, I don't even know how the hacker hacked our server and replaced our website with some images. So yeah, I don't know. I don't even know.
exactly. And this is the key because the hackers knows immediately. They go, they search, they send out a little crawling on the website. They see which one has open, that has open emails or open domains where they can actually access all the email data of the public website. Then from there, they are actually doing the basic ones. They are just attacking the websites or entering points, and then they infusing a malware, and then they taking control over a website, for example. So it's, or a ransomware in this case, where they see that there is money to be made because maybe the website is selling a lot and they are in need to be selling a lot, meaning that if you interrupt them, that means they don't selling, they don't making income. So for them, paying a ransomware, many will pay because they need to be operational again because all that critical data is very important for them. So I think this is one of the major things that is going on, not only in Indonesia, but I mean everywhere in the world, because it's an easy, and specifically what we've seen here in Middle East and in Europe is that a lot of health care facilities is being attacked. And this is very concerning because today, when we go to an healthcare, we're giving them all our data, all our personal data, all our personal health information and data. So this is information that is very, very critical and can be misused. Because imagine you're ending into a healthcare facility to there getting access of the data where you have patients that maybe have pacemakers or they have stents or other things that is actually data driven or battery driven or electronic IoT driven devices, because anything with IoT devices today can be hacked. And specifically, if it's an IoT device that is made by somebody and is not an Android or a Apple's or an OS software basic that has a lot of protection already that you can have, that is open and that can be easily attacked, because that is the most dangerous part today, I believe, in the sense of what we have in the office and we have at home, is all the IoT devices, from printers, from scanners, from CCT cameras, from air condition, etc. Where is actually access points to be able to get into your network that is not protected, that we think we have it protected, but we do not. So this is another concern that is moving forward in everywhere in the world, is things that we want and need to protect, but we don't think that we need to protect.
Yeah, exactly. And it happens at our homes as well, right? uh,
Correct.
yeah, we sometimes we don't really see the importance of um, having like a network security for our work, our data, our and our CCTVs, our smart electronics, and the kids, right? And yeah, I think the network security has come into like a more importance in these couple of years, yeah, in the past couple of years, especially with the pandemic. A lot of people are working from home, and maybe at their office, usually they are protected by the office firewall, but um, at their homes, they're they're not protected, right? So yeah, I think it's very important right now for people who's working at home or back at the office to see the importance of network security.
Yeah. And like you said, not only for themselves, but as well for the kids. Because I think that's an area that we do not think, but our children, they are on 24/7 on the internet. They access sites where they should not access to. They share information maybe that they should not share. They share photos and data that they maybe not should share, because when it's on the internet, it will never disappear. It will be there forever. And many times we have seen and heard horror stories, suicides, and other family tragic related things that has to come with cyberbully and other things that's going on the internet today. So education as a parent, education as a business owner, not needed maybe to spend a whole course on internet security, but understanding the basic and take the measures proactively, or adding on security devices to make sure that you are protected today and in the future. I think it's a very sound way to step one to get into learning about cyber security that is needed, protection, and then take the action of actually doing something about it.
Yeah. And plus, like, uh like once we know, like when once we realize that our office is vulnerable, it's then we started to look for the tools, like maybe we can do like have like a consultant coming in and do like a full security audit, right? And we had like a lot of antivirus installed on our devices, on our laptops. Like back then, uh, uh, our employees like might not even have like a antivirus, and so we had to get a lot of licenses for the antivirus. So we try to prevent, all the ransomware, and we also for our head office and um, the branch, we upgraded to we upgraded our firewall with SD1, SD-WAN, and VPN connectivity, so that both our head office um, and our branches, yeah, can come under the same network protection.
So what Ardi is talking about when we talk SD-WAN and VPN and all this terminology that even I in the beginning didn't know before I learned, is that it's like an end-to-end protection between your employees and their devices and to the office, making sure that nobody can breach that kind of data that goes back and forth between the office and the end users.
Yeah.
So another thing that I think is important is that, like we said about education, is that, to put it simply, imagine today, would you leave your house and leave the door open? Do not lock it, leave the door open, and then go to work. Is that something you would do? Obviously not.
No.
Exactly. But we are doing it every day when it comes to the digital space and the internet. We are leaving our devices totally wide open. Come and rob me because I haven't done anything to protect it.
Yeah.
So I think That's a very, very good way of seeing actually what's the reality in your house or in your office in the past, and what we are doing digitally today is exactly the same thing. We are leaving the door open for anyone to come in and steal whatever they want in our digital space, if we do not protect ourselves.
Yes. Correct.
So I think rounding this up, I thank you so much, Ardi and Arif, for sharing. And I hope if anybody has taken some points out of this webinar, is that please study, take action, be proactive, and please reach out to Ardi or Arif or Prasetya to learn more, even to have a free trial and see how it can work with your business. And then you will see the difference, what it makes to have a simple solution that anybody can have that protects you from the common threats of today's, how you are conducting yourself on the internet.
Yes. Well, thank you, Ola. Yeah, thank you to Dotlines for having this amazing product of Audra, yeah? And we started as a user, and now we are selling Audra as one of our products, and hopefully, one thing to sell is it's a passion for us to sell, but another passion for us is to help others to have a better security for their businesses.
Yeah, and at a fair price, so it doesn't affect them when it comes to taking the decision, because the decision should not be based on that can I afford it or not. It should be based on when do I need it, and I can actually use it to make my business more effective and more cost effective.
Yes, true.
All right. Thank you, guys. Enjoy your evening in Indonesia. Bye-bye from Dubai. Ciao.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
A company of one, a buzzing startup, and even big teams all want to achieve the same things. Secure business from losses. Be more productive. Turn around and grow fearlessly. Stay focused on your business and let Audra take care of internet security and work productivity. Business-grade security with home-grade simplicity. Audra is the practical, simple, and affordable partner for you. It sits at your workplace as a guide and a guard. Uses its state-of-the-art machine learning and robust cloud AI, and brings all the simple app-based controls that you have always wanted. Prevent complex security issues in just a few taps. Block access to unproductive and harmful categories at work. Add specific sites and apps to blocklist, or whitelist only the approved ones. Set team-by-team schedules or time quotas. Allocate bandwidth for best productivity. Use 2 connections with load balancing like never before. Get analytics and monitor all network activities anytime, anywhere. Businesses around the region are saying yes to Audra. It's time that you do too.